Hello everyone! We know quite a bit about the next expansion, about the story that's coming with the War Within. But in-game, in-universe, they've only just begun to scratch the surface of trying to figure out what is going on. Some people across the world are hearing the so-called Radiant Song. Warm, comforting, like coming home, but the song is not the same for everyone.
No radiance. No song. Just the shadow.
We're asked by Khadgar to meet him at the Chamber of the Guardian within Gul'dan, where he summons Alleria Windrunner as well. Walking in, we notice that Archmage Karlane is hanging out with Drendan, and you'll be forgiven for not knowing who Drendan is, as they haven't been a part of the Council of Six for a very long time. Last mention that I could find was all the way back when Kel'Thuzad was still amongst them, dabbling with his necromancy. Looks like he showed up again to replace Caligos, who has decided to focus on his flight and no longer be part of the council.
Khadgar said you would come. I thought it best to wait for you.
My people are no strangers to voices from below, but this radiant song is different.
It's being heard all across Azeroth. The Council doesn't know what to make of it.
There must be someone who does. I'll let you know what I find.
Alleria! It's been too long, old friend.
Good to see you, Khadgar. Doing well?
As well as can be expected. How's the family?
I haven't... It's better if I keep my distance.
Of course. The Void. That would be... Actually, your connection to the Void is why I asked you here. We still don't know what this dark heart relic is capable of. But we do know it's in the hands of someone called the Harbinger. Who they are and what they intend to do remains a mystery. Which is why I need your help.
To hunt down a dangerous foe we know nothing about. Honestly, I could use the distraction.
Same old Alleria. Void or no void. I didn't mean to...
See you soon, Khadgar. Dark heart in hand.
It's interesting to see what characters in-game know compared to our general knowledge. In this case, we can assume that Virenov and Chromie told them all about the Dark Heart, how Iridikron picked it up on the Forbidden Reach and sucked out powers from the corpse of Galakrond. They believe it was similar to the Dragon Soul, a powerful artifact crafted by Deathwing. Perhaps this was a prototype that he rejected, and is still interested to consider how Iridikron knew about the Dark Heart, since he and Elfarion were not exactly friends at the time. And the book that speaks on this ancient history, The War of the Skillborn, it makes no mention of Iridikron dabbling in the Void. Did the Void whisper the Deathwing to craft it, so that Iridikron could pick it up later? Did the Void, Xal'atath, get in touch with Iridikron after his release from prison? Was it already way back in the day, and did he just keep it a really close secret? Still interesting things to consider, but we do know for sure that Iridikron traveled back in time and used the Dark Heart to suck something out of the corpse of Galakrond, and then handed it over to this mysterious Harbinger. Seeing how this investigation involves the Void, Alleria believes that it's wise to consult the Void Elves at the Logos Rifts.
Have the Rendori noticed any void disturbances lately?
We have. The Riftwalkers just returned from their investigations.
There's something else. A vision is being seen all across Azeroth. They call it the Radiant Song.
Interesting. I'll report this to Locust Walker. But for now, let us speak of your investigation.
The Rendori are the Void Elves, where Alleria got in touch with the Void during her adventures with the Army of the Light, and was then trained by the Locust Walker. They found their own path through their research and then trickery by Nether Prince Durzan. Their base of operations is the Logos Rifts, most likely the planet that once upon a time was destroyed by the Titan Sargeras, as he had learned about the Void Lord's plans of corrupting a slumbering Titan world soul. The Riftwalkers are tasked with investigating all void activity that appears on Azeroth, so that's who we ask if they know anything about what's going on.
There was a strange increase in void activity within Aberrus. We are still unsure what caused the surge. All quiet now, though.
We could fill in those details if we wanted to, explain our adventures within Aberrus during Dragonflight.
I investigated void incursions along the southern coast. But any sign of battle had long passed when I arrived. Seems like a dead end.
I imagine this is a reference to the N'Zoth incursions within Uldum during Battle for Azeroth.
Not much to report, I'm afraid. I sensed activity to the north of the continent, but the trail went cold near Xal'atath.
Maybe connected about Alleria visiting the Sunwell, or maybe a hint at future story at Xul'Aman.
Riftwalker Nilara has yet to return from Northrend. Troubling.
She was investigating void activity in Galakrond's Rest, so we check out what is going on.
This is where Iridikron empowered the Dark Heart. But that was millennia ago. Why would there be void activity here? Why now?
The corpse of Galakrond has been here for ages. Once upon a time, the Lich King even tried to resurrect it in Undeath. Now, with time travel, Iridikron has sucked out power from its corpse, and the bones of the creature are not left alone.
Tracks. They might belong to our Riftwalker. Let's follow them. Galakrond was consumed by a never-ending hunger. And that same hunger was used to empower the Dark Heart. The Riftwalkers reported fluctuations in void energy, followed by a period of calm. Could the Dark Heart be absorbing magical power and converting it to shadow? These tracks lead north. Wait, I sense something. Is it Ulduar? I'll scout ahead. Meet me there.
Ulduar was the prison complex which housed the old god Yogg-Saron. While we have been told that the old gods are cleansed from Azeroth. Funny enough, the book Exploring Azeroth Northrend, it says that Yogg-Saron is still imprisoned within Ulduar. Either way, the place that locked away an old god for a very long time, surely that's a place of interest for the Void and its ethereal allies.
Well, we're on the right track. The shadows have taken her. Defend yourself! The shadows...
So, you finally arrived. My honored guests.
The shadows have taken her. That voice.
Riftwalker Nilara looked up to the Windrunner sisters her entire life and found it an honor of a lifetime to be able to work alongside Alleria. Even so, the darkness has claimed her.
You seek my dark heart. Very well. Come take it.
This is... Xal'atath. Why show me these memories? What is the Harbinger's plan?
The Harbinger is toying with Alleria, plucking at her emotions, while it offers a good refresher for us, for those that might have played during Legion. It shows Alleria's life, fighting against the Amani trolls, the invading horde and demonic assassins, joining the army of the Light and leaving her son Arator behind, her road to the Void Elf that we see her as today.
Rejecting the role of Ranger General was not an easy choice. For me or my family. Yet leaving them behind, I failed to protect them. Or at least, to die with them.
The first time that we get to see models for their parents in-game. And while their brother Lirath became a big motivation for Sylvanas' choices with the Shadowlands, and used within the Sylvanas novel, he himself wasn't added to WoW until the end of the Shadowlands.
This is the last time I saw my son as a boy. My Arator. I was so thankful for that day. Zira helped me to reach out to him. Yet the Light's power wasn't enough to defeat the Legion.
Fun fact, Arator was not originally part of Alleria's story. She left Azeroth behind during Warcraft 2, when the Horde returned for a second invasion and the Sons of Lothar decided to step through the Dark Portal to stop the Horde once and for all. Arator wasn't added until the Burning Crusade, but now, retroactively, she had a baby at the time, a baby that she handed over to her sister Verissa, while she went off fighting for his future.
Embracing the Void. I don't regret that choice. I left my world my son, to protect them. And leaving the army of the light was just the same.
Farewell.
This is a hunt, and our prey awaits with hungry jaws.
I would rather have died than have you fall to evil.
I know. And yet my fate has not changed.
Oh, your greatest regret. Let's bring it to life, shall we?
No! This isn't what happened!
You have forsworn the light, Alleria, and so you are my enemy.
We must follow him!
The line that he told her when she gave into the powers of the void to save their lives, setting herself on the path on who she is today. Would highly recommend anyone to check out the official audio drama that they did on this called 1,000 Years of War. Not just because it's extremely relevant to the story coming up, but also because it was really well done. At the Loger's Rift, we see that things are a little bit chaotic as the void lashes out. Along the way, we also come across 3 memories of wielders of Xal'atath in the past. There's Zando of the Gurupashi tribe, convinced to perform blood sacrifices to revitalize Kifix, who was once upon a time taken out by Keeper Tyr. The trolls would eventually slay Kifix again, build their temple city of Xul'aahren upon the site where he was slain. The trail ran cold at Xul'aahren, and Xal'atath has not been doing things without a reason. Perhaps Kifix and Xul'aahren will be part of the story in the future. The second one is Modgud, Queen of the Dark Islands, who was convinced to unleash darkness upon Grimbatol as they fought with the Wildhammer dwarves during the War of the Hammers. Xal'atath then abandoned her. The queen was slain, with her final words being, "You promised." The darkness unleashed would leave Grimbatol uninhabitable for the Wildhammers, and turn the Dark Islands left inside into the monstrous garden. The queen's death would then influence her husband's spellwork, accidentally summon Ragnaros into Azeroth, leading to the enslavement of the Dark Islands. Until then, centuries later, Moira would guide their path into a different direction. The last memory shown is Natalie Selene, who picked it up decades after Modgud. She had lived through the First War, when the Orcish horde invaded Azeroth and conquered Stormwind. After the war, Selene realized that to defeat the Orcs, humanity would need to study the strange powers that they wielded. From her investigations, she learned of an otherworldly blade that the Orcs had once used in their bloody rituals. A blade that held sway over the shadows themselves. Troubled that such a profane weapon could exist, Selene swore to hunt it down and destroy it in the name of the light. The moment she touched the blade, a name was spoken in her mind. Xal'atath. She knew then that she could not destroy the dagger. Not yet. How can one defeat a power she does not understand? Xal'atath whispered to her, in waking and in dreaming, teaching her that there was more to this world than the light. There's also void. By the time of the Second War, Selene had learned how to wield shadow magic from Xal'atath, passed on her dangerous arts to other worshippers of the light to rally them against the hordes. Void wielders amongst the Alliance forces. They waged their war in secret, hunting down orcs across the human kingdoms. The whole plan of destroying the blade kind of fallen apart as Xal'atath's whispers continued, unraveling Selene's and her companion's sanity. Some strayed too far into shadow, forsaking the light completely. Though Selene urged her followers to use caution, her calls were ignored and even treated with suspicion. It's unclear exactly what happened to the former bishop, but some sources state that Xal'atath incited a rebellion amongst her allies, convincing them that she was holding them back from their true potential, holding back knowledge and power that they could have if only they killed her. In the dead of night, the conspirators murdered Selene and then took Xal'atath for themselves. Except Selene knew what was coming, took steps to save her spirit by sending it into the void. Priests during Legion actually saved her spirit and brought her back. Her studies would carry a life of its own, providing the knowledge needed to the Forsaken to form their cult of forgotten shadows. Who knows what Xal'atath's been planning and how those things might play a part in the future. Now, besides these memories, we also deal with the enemy forces, and we get to see the Void Elves in action. Some of them don't even need to leave their chair to dominate. Lieutenant Varana, who's now a undead Void Elf, was once upon a time alive, trusted by Alleria to bring her necklace gifts to her family before stepping through the Dark Portal. I trust Alleria I followed her through adventure, through war, through death itself, and I will follow her into the void if need be, and some of them appear to be void paladins.
This is what you chose over the light? Over your family? How pitiful.
Do not speak with his voice, abomination!
End me, Alleria! Has the void not given you the strength?
I can't do it!
Alleria, I see your weak heart. You cling to them still.
Begone from this place, Xal'atath!
Very well. I'll not overstay my welcome.
Embrace the void, lest it consume. So it is Xal'atath who has claimed the Dark Heart. I understand now why she calls herself the Harbinger.
I've had enough riddles for one day.
The radiant visions you spoke of are the very same my people had. Before our world was consumed by the Void Lord Dimensius.
What? You don't think... Could Xal'atath be seeking that same fate for Azeroth?
I fear that is precisely what she intends. You must find a way to stop her.
Me? Look, she knew exactly how to hurt me. I don't think I'm the one to...
Yes, she knew your greatest fear is endangering your family. But you must let go of that fear. Embrace who you truly are.
I know who I am.
Do you? You are unbalanced. You must master your unique nature, Alleria. If you cannot, then Azeroth is already doomed.
It's best if I leave. I'm a danger to you all, so long as Xal'atath's gaze is cast upon me. Tell Khadgar what we learned. I will return to Dalaran in time.
A lot is being dropped on us in one go, and I'll make a separate video diving deeper into the Ethereals and their history with K'aresh. In short, Alleria found her way to the Locust Walker through Lofrexion, a light-infused dreadlord. Locust Walker is an ethereal from the world of K'aresh, who had fought against Dimensius the All-Devouring and lost. That is why they look the way that they do today, and yet we have seen some of the people actually allied with Xal'atath and the Void. We have fought against Dimensius during the Burning Crusade, but we've already been whispered that this was just a sliver of its power. Now it seems that the Harbinger, Xal'atath, who is already known to the Locust Walker, acts like some kind of silver surfer to bring in Galactus, to bring in Dimensius and have him numb on a world soul. The Void comes for the soul of our world, who is now singing a song in warning like K'aresh did, so most likely K'aresh had a world soul as well. What happened to it? What is Dimensius doing now? Is that truly all that Xal'atath wants? Bring in this supposed Void Lord, have it eat Azeroth, or does she have more in mind? All things to be revealed, of course, but they're definitely dropping some delicious hooks and future plots. Alleria is reprimanded for being out of balance, but Locust Walker has always known that Alleria has something special about her, a unique destiny. Is he truly on our side and wants what's best for Azeroth and the Windrunner, or does the Locust Walker himself have plans and goals in mind? Again, we're dealing with the Void, and there are so many paths to take.
Alleria reported her findings regarding the strange phenomenon you have all been investigating. We now believe the Dark Heart is capable of drawing in magical power and converting it to shadow. Your orders have not changed, however. You will still be responding to unusual Void activity.
Will Lady Windrunner be leading further investigations?
I'm afraid she's indisposed with her own mission at the moment.
Telegrass needs her. She's supposed to guide us.
Alleria will return to us in time. But for now, you may seek Locust Walker for guidance. We Randori do not have an easy path. The Whispers shall always tempt us, threaten to consume us. Entire worlds can be destroyed by the power of the Void. But it also allows us to protect Azeroth in a way no other can, to defend our home against the dark.
We now know that the Dark Heart is capable of drawing in magical power and converting it to shadow. I do hope that this means that Alleria is going to change her quest objective a little bit and not actually bring the Dark Heart into the magical floating city of Dalaran. That just sounds like the one place we don't want the Dark Heart to be.
Xal'atath has returned as the Harbinger. And now she has the power of the Dark Heart at her disposal.
It's all connected to the Radiant Song. It has to be.
Locust Walker said the Ethereals heard a similar song before Koresh was destroyed.
Then is Azeroth herself the one in danger? Is she speaking to us?
We need answers. We need her speaker.
I will seek out Magni. But first, I must inform Thrall of what we learned here. We must face this crisis together. Horde and Alliance both.
Next step, find Magni Bronzebeard, our Speaker of Azeroth, and figure out what Azeroth is trying to tell us. That, however, is going to be a story for another day. So for now, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Subscribe if you like my videos. Leave a like if you enjoyed this one. And until next time, see ya!